What's up guys, Bojankity here, and today we're going to be looking at a game I played a little bit ago, playing the London, my favorite opening right now for white, because it's boring, but at the same time it's solid and lets you develop naturally. And we're just going to take a look at some of the stuff I played and some of the stuff this person played. Right now I'm 733, he's 741. So of course the London starts with the d4, and then he usually matches, which then you play bishop f4, and then he usually plays the c6 knight. You go ahead and play that pawn up, that way it has central structure. He plays the other one, which is very natural because now his knights cover all of the central squares, very good coverage. So then I go ahead and play a move of c4. Reason being is if he takes, right, he goes ahead and takes, I take here. Now I've developed, and he's lost one of his central pawns while I've only traded the c pawn. But that's not what he did, because he saw this and he went ahead and played the move e6 with his pawn. That way if I takes, he takes, and it's easy. But so what I did was I played that thinking he would take to move his pawn back over. But what he instead did was he played the move queen takes d5, okay, which isn't a bad move because he's attacking this pawn. If I ever move my bishop, this pawn's a weak pawn, which ends up happening later, spoiler alert. I go ahead and move my knight up to attack the queen here, and then he goes ahead and moves this, pinning my knight, which is really good because obviously I can't move here because then it would put my king in checkmate. So then I go ahead and play h3, attacking the bishop. He takes, I take, centering my pawn to structuralize this guy. He moves to attack my bishop. I move him down because now if he takes, I just move and open up the h file, which is what happens. Now my h file is opened up. He goes ahead and plays h6. I move my bishop, forgetting about the weak pawn here. He moves this here, and I thought, so this is where I thought I was going to have a lot of issues and where I probably would lose the game. Right now he's up a pawn, and he puts this and this into danger while also putting me in check. Obviously if I move this here, he takes and puts me in check, so I have to move up, and then he can trade queens being up a rook. Or if I move this out of the way, he then takes this here, same thing, I have to move up, we trade queens, and he's up a knight. So I had to think of a way to get him out of there while also protecting these two pieces. The move I played was queen f3. Best scenario for him here is he trades queens, because if he takes here, I would just trade a queen for a rook, which isn't really good for me. If he moves down, I take. If he moves up, I take, and obviously if he takes a pawn, I also take. So we went ahead and did a queen trade here. He castles. I go ahead and castle. I didn't really need to. My pawn structure doesn't really cover my king, and I knew this. He had way better pawn structure for castling. So I just wanted to, because I could get my rook here, move the other rook over, and then have a centralized files going on. He moves up. I go ahead and take that with my knight. That was kind of a blunder for him because right now he's still up a pawn. If you remember, that queen took a pawn, so he's still up a pawn. So he moved that there. That was a blunder because now I can take with this, and then he takes with the knight, and the whole trade him up a pawn. So then he moves to attack my rook, I move up. He moves to attack my other rook, I move up. He goes ahead and plays another kind of blunder. I don't know, I guess he missed it, that since he was moved that up, I can now attack this pawn here, which is what I do. I comfortably take that. He moves it over, attacking my rook. I can just move it over, guarded by the pawn and attacking the bishop. He misses that, goes down, trying to put me just to put me in check. I go ahead and take the bishop happily. He moves this over. I move it down because as you're down, you don't want to trade. So if he does trade this, it'd be really good for me, which is actually what happens. Play that out. He takes, and this is where he resigns. So as you can see, it was a pretty close game, but towards the end, he made a mistake here. So the London is pretty dynamic. It gives you such a good hold, and then they can slip up because it kind of lets you move your pieces around how you want them towards the mid game. The London's known for you're playing towards the mid game. either way, I just want to show you guys one way I like to play the London and why I play it. So yeah, if you guys like that, go ahead and checkmate my like button and smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.